Today we will be going over Clover Health Investment stock and why it could be going higher soon. Let's get into the video. Hi everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to Finance Bro. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please comment how many shares of CLOV you have and then consider leaving a like and subscribe as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys want 2 free stocks that could be worth up to $2,300, then go ahead and get signed up with WeBull with the first link in our description. With all that out of the way, let's get straight into our stock for today, CLOV. Alright, so there's going to be a few things that we're going to be going over in today's video, but first we have to cover the news. So the news is going to be that JP Morgan actually downgraded Clover Health and expects the stock to flatline over the next 16 months. And this actually could be what triggered a bit of a bump in price today, because obviously Wall Street Bets does not like Wall Street in general. So yeah, basically they downgraded it to a straight flat line. They slashed their December 22 price target from $9 to $9 from $15 previously. So yeah, basically they're like, all right, we don't like Clover Health Investments anymore. And there are some valid reasons behind that, but also Clover does have some health or some growth potential as well. So it's just an interesting move by JP Morgan. But obviously Wall Street Bets investors didn't agree, so they decided to get CLOV right back up there, jumped about 5% right before the market closed today. But we actually have another website here called WSBtrackers.com, and that is kind of where you can learn. I'm not sponsored by this, by the way, but this is where you can learn which stocks are being talked about most on Wall Street Bets. So if we come here to WSB Trackers, you can see if I refresh, CLOV has been talked about 11% of the time on Wall Street Bets compared to 4% yesterday. So I think that they all saw JP Morgan slash their price target and they decided to disagree and decided to put their money into CLOV. Now there's some other things that are going on with like short interest. There's a big short interest, but we'll go over that in a second. But yeah, so the third most talked about stock on Wall Street Bets today could be a reason for their pump. Another reason could be that they were trending #1 on StockTwits today. StockTwits is basically the biggest community for talking about stocks and everything. And earlier, just about an hour ago, they were trending #1. They're now trending #5. They should be one of the most active as well. They are not. But basically, CLOV was trending #1. There was a lot of talk on CLOV being like, yo, we're doing great. They might have downgraded us, but let's show them that they're wrong. So basically that's why they probably jumped in price today. We'll see if that leads into tomorrow as well. All right, the next article that we're going to have here is actually from investorplace.com, and this is going to be an article called Short Squeeze Stocks, Top 10 Stocks with High Short Interest This Week, and then subheading, CLOV is the top of the list, obviously. But yeah, so they said we're seeing loads of activity from retail traders at the start of the week, and that has us looking in on short squeeze stocks that investors will want to know about. Traders have been going after stocks with high short interest more lately as they try and push hedge funds out. That means it's likely we're going to see more of this activity this week continue. So they think that some of this short interest stuff could be continuing throughout the week, so that would actually bode well for CLOV. So yeah, obviously CLOV is going to be the #1 short squeeze stock according to investorplace.com. So yeah, CLOV stock starts the list with a short interest of about 36.7%. The stock has a float of about 112 million and 148 million shares outstanding. So there is a possibility for a short squeeze there. We'll have to see whether or not we can band together enough in order to do this. Obviously, a lot of people still want to put their money towards AMC, as AMC has been falling like a rock as of recent. But we'll see if we can continue this hype that happened at the end of this day throughout the rest of the week with CLOV. But one thing that I did want to go over with CLOV, obviously Yahoo Finance thinks that this is a bearish stock, thinks that it'll perform really bad, just like JP Morgan. And then obviously they missed on their earnings per share. Revenue has, however, been going up. but earnings obviously hasn't been doing well. And then everyone has them as between a buy and a strong buy for recommendations, but the Yahoo Finance does have it as a 3.3, which is a hold to underperform. And price targets, they only have two price targets of $9 and $10, and we're in the middle of that right now. So obviously, if you just look at this, doesn't look too great. But there is one thing about CLOV that does look pretty good, and that is their balance sheet and their latest quarter. It did show some positive signs. So if you could see here, their balance sheet went. They paid off a lot of debt that they had. They only have about $55 million in debt right now. If you take a look at their total assets, they have about $809 million in current assets compared to $173 million in current liabilities. Now, whether or not they are going to turn this very strong balance sheet into more revenue and better cost efficient revenue, because obviously right now if you take a look at their profitability, they're not profitable. They have a negative 21% profit margin, but they do have the balance sheet to start doing well here soon. So we'll see if they capitalize on this. Really though, this is really just a short interest play. While they are set up for the future, they have not proven anything that they can actually, do anything with this strong balance sheet. We'll see if they do that in the following quarters. All right, and now everyone's favorite part, we are going to be going over the technical analysis. So as you can see here, CLOV has been on just a downward trend over the past week. We went all the way from 11 to 12-ish dollars on a very, 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 huge red candlestick, all the way down to about $10. Ever since then, we've been making lower lows and lower highs up until today, where we actually had just a huge bump in volume. So we obviously started the day out bad once again, but then we just had a huge bump in volume later in the day, and this was around when JP Morgan, made their claim that they will not be, or basically they'll trade sideways, and I think just retail investors just didn't like it. So they were just like, hey, let's band together, let's buy CLOV, let's get the short interest popping, let's see if we can squeeze some of these hedge funds, all that good jazz. But as you can see here, basically no volume throughout the day, and then just tons and tons of volume at the end of the day. Honestly, right now we're sitting at a 60 RSI, which is not too bad. It is not too overbought at the moment. We are about to start a trend back down on the MACD, which isn't very good, but we'll have to see how we open tomorrow. One thing I do want to note is that we did get stopped at exactly $10. I expect there's a lot of selling pressure at $10, so that is going to be the next resistance level that we're going to have to get over. But we do have a pretty good support line here in the intraday at about $9.50. So if we open above $9.50, that'll be pretty good in my opinion for the outlook of CLOV stock tomorrow and throughout the week. If we open below $9.50, I won't be as bullish on the stock throughout the rest of the week, but if we can get above $10, wow, we could be returning to $11 or $12 soon, and that's 10 to 20% gains from there. So yeah, if we break above $10 tomorrow, expect some fireworks from this stock this week. But yeah, that is pretty much going to be it for the technical analysis and for the video. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to comment how many CLOV shares that you have, and then comment anything else. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them the best that I can. That's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. My name is Zach, and I hope to see you in the next one.